This is a story about a girl named Lucky.
In 1993, Britney Spears was picked from 40,000 children to be on the Mickey Mouse TV show. At 11 years old, Britney had become the greatest success in Kentwood's history, and it was commemorated with a special day.
Now, therefore, I, Mayor of the town of Kentwood, do hereby proclaim Saturday, April the 24th, 1993, Britney Spears Day.
Britney, the Kentwood community is proud of your accomplishments.
This home movie shows Britney Spears Day was not only a tribute, but a send-off, as the Little League baseball team presented her with a special Mickey Mouse cake. Town must have been very proud.
Right, we were.
Britney sang Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You. This was a farewell to Kentwood. Aged only 11, she was moving to Orlando, Florida, home of the Walt Disney Company. Britney Spears burst onto TV screens across America. The footage was no longer shaky or amateur. It was slick and choreographed.
The Mickey Mouse Club was like the big deal. All of the kids, I remember coming home after school watching the Mickey Mouse Club. Everybody, it was just something that everyone did. And it was such a fun show. And like the people on the Mouseketeers, the girls and the boys, they were like the role models for everybody. You wanted to be like the Mouseketeers. And then she got picked to be one, and it was just wonderful. She loved it. Those were probably some of the best years of her life, being a Mouseketeer so far. She loves it. She'll still talk about it today.
Britney's co-workers that year included Christina Aguilera and Justin Timberlake. This is her performing a Chaka Khan cover with Justin. The lyrics, I feel for you, I think I love you, would turn out to be prophetic.
These are kids who wanted to be performers and stars from an extremely early age, frighteningly young. And they went and worked at it from the time they were 8. And they were doing it from the time they were 12.
Hi, I'm Little Sister Amy. And I'm Little Sister Carol, and this is the Little Sisters Talk Show.
By the time they were 16, they were entertainment robots.
Yeah. And everyone in our audience today will receive a free I'd rather have a blister than a big sister t-shirt.
And it seemed like they were exploited because when you asked them a question, their eyes went like this and they answered in a way that had to do with God and their kids who looked up to them and being a good role model and, you know, y'all. And, I mean, it seemed like they were robots. So, sure, you're free to think that they were exploited, but these kids were working at it for years.
Britney's success inspired the next generation of Kentwood girls. An hour's drive out of the town, here in a motel on the side of Interstate 55, the American dream is in action once again. This is 12-year-old Taylor Horn.
Kinds of love, love to last.
Everyone compares me and Britney, and I think it's because we're both from the same town, and we're both two girls who sing, and we both have the same voice coach, so that has a lot to do with it. But I'm really nothing like her, because she does, even though I'm starting to do pop, it's kind of a different kind of pop.
Certainly, she's not as big as Britney.
Not yet.
If you're looking for comparison, but
Do you think she could be as big as Britney?
I think she will be. I think any of her handlers will tell you the same thing, that she has the same drive and the same ambition, and you know, where other kids are out playing, she's inside practicing singing hours at a time.
Love, it's on the square. I can't.
I've coached Justin Timberlake. We're now coaching his brother, Jonathan Timberlake, who's following in his footsteps. Britney Spears when she was 12, 13. And when Taylor first came in and started taking, the first thing I told Taylor, she looked a lot like Britney when Britney was that age. They're very similar. They're both very driven. They spend a lot of time working in the mirror. They make me work hard because of their desire to sing, and they have the same work ethic, and that's what you need. All right, I'm going to help your muscle. I'll do it with you. Ready, breathe.
I don't have too many friends down here. Most of my friends are into business. I was 9 when I started, so I was still in school. I'm homeschooled now. But when I was in school, I had a really, really hard time because they were just really mean. A lot of them were really, really mean.
But she loves performing.
Yeah, I love performing. Performing's the best. It's just always been my dream, I think. I just always wanted to do it. If I wasn't doing my singing and acting, then I really don't know where else I'd be. I'd probably be in a restaurant, do you want fries with that kind of person? Because I have no else where to go, I don't think, except for my singing, my acting. That's my life.
I'd spank you, but it'd go on camera.
In 1994, 2 years after Britney joined it, the Mickey Mouse Club was cancelled. Britney's dreams were once again shelved, and she had to go back to school. And back to Kentwood.
Just stop. There's nothing you can do.
It was a big blow for the Spears family, who had lost a much-needed regular income. There were times when Kentwood ran out of work, and Britney's dad, Jamie Spears, had to travel to nearby Mississippi just to pay the mortgage. To help fund the rising costs of Britney's singing career, he converted a barn next to their home into a health club called Total Fitness. But it never really took off, and in 1998, Britney's parents eventually filed for bankruptcy.
He was a small-town guy who enjoyed being a small-town guy, and with Britney's pursuit of fame, that was taken from him. Lynn wanted that fame. Lynn wanted that ride, and Britney wanted that ride, and the two siblings wanted that ride. Jamie never wanted it, and that eventually led to the breakup of the marriage. But there was always that uneasy thing. I mean, he was supportive, and in fact, you know, the man went into bankruptcy for his daughter, so you got to give him that. But I don't think he never wanted it. Like, you get the sense that if it were up to him, Britney never would have pursued any of it.
At the end of 1997, the parish sheriff repossessed the Spears family car and auctioned it off on the courthouse steps for $2,000. Britney's dreams of making it appeared to have evaporated. But on the other side of the Atlantic, a new wave of music would change the Spears' family fortunes. Formulaic pop was popular again, and the revival was missing just one type of act, a female solo artist.
We all blamed you. You know, we didn't have Take That. You know, we didn't have any of this stuff. Bras, what were they called?
Bras.
Yeah, okay. We didn't have them either.
So Britney's our fault, you're saying?
Well, what I mean to say is, you know, we didn't have this kind of music for a long time.
At the end of the 90s, the music industry in America decided there was an unexploited market.
We kind of realized that there was, in general, in America, a lack of music kind of catering to young teenagers.
This is America's Simon Cowell, Lou Pearlman of Transcontinental, who diversified from the aviation business into teen pop after a moment of epiphany at a New Kids on the Block concert.
I saw them at the Nassau Coliseum. I saw New Kids, and it was amazing to me. I almost went deaf by hearing all the screaming girls. I thought it was just amazing. I said, this has to be a fluke, that people buying everything from T-shirts to hats to programs and so forth. To me, it was just fascinating. And I looked at it, studied it. I said, my God, this is something I got to get involved with.
Lou built the boy bands, the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC with former members of the old Mickey Mouse Club, which he had been watching at close quarters.
Mickey Mouse Club was a show that was shot in Orlando. I was based in Orlando. It was just really something easy for me to pick up talent. With that in mind, Justin's mom and I got together and we put a girls group together. And one of them was Britney Spears. But you know, guys can have a fight and in 10 minutes it's all over. Girls can have a fight, it's never over. They have great memory. So as a result, we ended up where our attorney, Larry Rudolph, took Britney to the same record label we had Backstreet on, Jive Records.
A tape and a picture suddenly appeared. I heard something in her voice, a commercial appeal and a certain distinctiveness in her voice. And then I saw these pictures that were put in the package. And again, there was something about this all-American girl next door that just registered that maybe this is something, you know, young girls can relate to and young boys can fantasize about. First One Hit Me Baby One More Time was recorded. We knew we had a hit, but it was really when the video for that song got made that we knew we had something that could be explosive. Everybody kind of, when we saw the, you know, even the rough cuts of the video, we all went, this could work.
It was a striking debut, with Britney cavorting around like the naughtiest of schoolgirls.
Well, that's like the archetype of like what a sleazy 36-year-old guy wants. A 16-year-old, super hot, nubile woman taking this once pure image and just injecting it with this images like from Hustler magazine or something, you know.
If you look great and you have a great body, some people want to flaunt it, but you never saw her naked. You never saw her totally, you know, nude. She wasn't Playboy or anything. And she kept an image to a point where it was voluptuous, it was sexy, and that's what sold. And just like Madonna, I mean, it sells.
I was actually driving in my car to school, and then I heard her song on the radio, and it was just like, I remember I called her mom, Miss Lynn. I was like, I just heard Britney on the radio. And we were all screaming and crying in the car. It was just so funny.
It captured a whole new audience. It captured me for sure, you know.
And I remember going to school and actually telling everyone that she had like the most awesome video in the world coming out. So
I like the little schoolgirl thing, the little braids with the little pom-poms and her hair thing kind of thing. I thought it was cute.
As females grow up, well, they seem to develop things that catch guys' eyes, you know, and she just happened to have it all. That's all I could say.
Britney Spears' success was immediate and massive. She broke the record for the youngest artist, aged 17, to have a first single and album debut simultaneously at #1. That difficult second album, Oops, I Did It Again, also debuted at #1 and was the fastest-selling album by a female artist in the history of popular music. Britney Spears is currently worth around $150 million, but unlike other celebrities, she hasn't tried to reinvent herself or hide her roots. Early on in her career, she built her very own Graceland, a $4 million mansion called Serenity on the outskirts of Kentwood.
I've been to Britney's house. Couldn't go upstairs. I had a broke ankle. Couldn't climb the stairs. I started up on crutches, and Lynn asked me, please, Kathy, are you sure? I said, Lynn, I can't do it. And came down, but it's gorgeous. The landscaping outside is what is really, the inside's real homey. It's not flashy, Hollywood style inside. It's homey, it's comfortable.
I don't know. It looked like Britney. I think that is Britney. That looks like her car, but maybe not. That's a business back there. Maybe that's somebody else. But it was a blonde.
Tim Oliver was taking us to see Britney's granddad, June Spears. Grandpa Spears had never given an interview before, but Tim used to work with his wife, and he had arranged for us to meet him.
He's very country, stays around home, but I do know also that he's very close to his family, not just Britney and her family, but all of his kids. He has like 10 kids. Mr. Spears.
So there's a chance that Britney might be there when we turn up?
There's always a chance, yeah. Yeah.
Grandpa Spears lives in a wooden house that he built himself. But instead of going in as expected, we sat outside in the car for the next hour, while Tim remained in the house. Obviously things weren't going to plan. Grandpa had apparently changed his mind and didn't now want to meet us. In fact, he told Tim that if he brought us in, he might have to get down his 9mm.
So he doesn't want to play?
That's what he says. He's a stubborn old coot, I tell you. And the thing is, like I say, I'm used to doing the covert thing, you know. If it's me, I'd have had the camera mounted in a little hat or whatever, little cap, went in, had the big conversation with him, and then...
So you're saying this job isn't undercover enough?
The Supreme Court...
Tim wanted to go back with a camera in my hat. That way we'd get the first interview with Grandpa Spears. But we didn't want to go undercover, and in any case, by now we'd made some of our own friends in Kentwood. This is Michael Jackson, friend and now manager of Britney's first husband, Jason Alexander.
A lot of people who suddenly become famous, they try and reinvent themselves. They try and